Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by the DVC Rental Store. Thank you for joining us on episode 292 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor. How's it going, bud?
Good. How are you?
I'm getting over a cold. So I was saying to you before we started this that, really the result of it is I'm just a little bassier today. I'm a little more like Trevor today. Got the deep voice going on.
You're going to get, you're going to get news announcer Tom.
I'm just going to start talking like this from now on.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome
that actually hurts worse. Oh, that hurts the voice, man. Yeah, no, that hurts. Actually, it's funny. When we first started the podcast, my sister listened and she goes, you have a pretty good podcast voice. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I don't think I do. So I don't know. I think you have a better podcast voice than I do.
And it's funny you say that because I've been told that, one of my first jobs was, I was working in a mailroom and, as part of the job, I had to go and, I had to go work on reception on the switchboard because the receptionist, whenever she would have breaks, I would have to go and sit there. And part of it was they had a PA system. So I would have to do announcements over the PA, like if somebody needed to pick up a call or whatever. And people told me back then, they're like, you sound like you could be like a news announcer. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. But I get what you mean. Is it's like, I don't know how to capitalize on that, but I guess being on a podcast kind of fulfills that. But to me, I just sound like I'm having a conversation. It doesn't sound like I'm doing anything.
You're doing a voice.
Fancy.
That's just your voice. Yeah, it's just your voice. Yeah, I mean, I could do the deep voice all the time if I wanted to, but it doesn't feel great. Yeah,
we should do an ASMR episode of some sort.
Well, I have no idea how to do it like that. I mean, we could do it. Yeah, I guess we could do some.
You just get really close to the mic and
get really close to the mic. It's Disney.
You want to go to Disneyland?
Disneyland. I love that. Yeah, we could. That doesn't exist already. I mean, yeah. Are we past the hype of the ASMR thing? That was like huge for a little while.
Oh no, I don't think that's ever going to stop. Honestly, like I still see like lots of ASMR stuff. I think it's found like a niche. It's not it's not hype anymore, but it's still out there for sure.
Okay, well that's interesting. So anyway. Bear with me, everyone. I should be okay, but it's that time of year. Everyone's getting cold, and I know it seems like I've gotten a lot. My wife's like, "You've been getting sick a lot lately." I'm like, "The last time I got sick was Thanksgiving, and that was already like 2 months ago." Like that, which feels like it wasn't 2 months ago, and for you, it was 3 months ago. But but yeah,
you got sick 3 months ago,
2 or 3 months ago, depending on what calendar you use. No, I'm just kidding. So it's just that time of year. There's stuff going around, and
To be fair, I don't know if you saw it's so I believe as we're recording this today is Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, that nonsense day.
Yeah, but they did say it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. So there is that.
Yeah,
all I think of is that Bill Murray.
Oh, of course, yeah, Groundhog Day. Yeah, it's a great movie, classic movie. There was like a newer kind of version of it with Andy Samberg and what's her name? I forget. Milioti. She's where they did kind of the same kind of thing where he lives the same day over and over. It's different than Groundhog Day, but it's similar. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Oh my gosh. It was good though. I watched it. It was really, really funny. So you have to look that one up. It's if you like Groundhog Day, you would like this. But yeah, I guess I could look it up while I'm talking here, but that would require multitasking.
Palm Springs.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Quick Google search found it.
There you go. You got it. Yeah. So check that movie out if you like Groundhog Day. But Groundhog Day is a classic. I mean, you can't go wrong. But anyway, you're right. It is Groundhog Day. I actually forget every year when Groundhog Day is, and my wife mentioned I saw it on there, and it's like, oh, Groundhog does this, and I was like, oh, that's today. Like, why are we still doing this in 2025?
I mean, okay,
it's a fun thing. I know.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it, and yeah, you're right. It's not like something that I'm like, oh boy, I hope that he doesn't or doesn't see. I don't even know how the rules work around it like that. But it's always funny when it's like you hear and it's like, oh, he said 6 more weeks of winter, and in the back of your head, you're like, it's funny how like the groundhog has some kind of dominion over like what I think about it, because it's like,
why is the groundhog the meteorologist here? Like,
yeah, like I read it. I'm like, oh, great, we're gonna have 6 more weeks of winter. He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know. Someone decides that for him.
But I still like, I still read it and go, oh yeah, I guess it's gonna be cold. I'd better, like you. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get sick, and better prepare for it. I feel like he predicted that I'm going to have 6 more weeks of illnesses, just colds and such. Yeah. I hate to tell you this, Tom, and I think every parent knows this at this point, is that it's nothing to do with the time of year. It's that because your daughter is in school, you're just being introduced to all the bugs that just carry around through school. And yeah,
it's true. No, it is true. This has been happening for years now with her, but I actually got sick first this time. Usually it goes, my daughter gets sick, then my wife gets sick, and then I get sick last. But this time I got sick first. Now, I had jury duty earlier in the week, and I'm speculating that me being in close proximity with a bunch of the general public maybe is what got me sick. But
that's fair.
Yeah, but I don't know. It could have come from my daughter. She was a little sniffly before that, and I'm sure everybody here knows too. Like those things affect different people differently, right? Like, so my daughter can get over one of those colds real quickly, where it'll knock me out for like a week. Yeah. So that's the big difference, I guess. She's got the young person immune system, and I don't. So, anyway,
but she's making your immune system stronger by introducing all these things.
That's true.
And then hey, let's circle this back, because we should actually talk about Disney. Is that you being exposed to all of these things means that when you go to Disney, you're less likely to get sick, because you have been exposed to a bunch of different things.
That is true. And I've talked many times about how somebody sneezed directly in my face one time at Disney, and I got violently ill the next day.
That's. Ugh.
That was the worst. That was. I also had COVID the time you and I were there. So
it's funny. I've been, so when I went with you, you got COVID. When me and my wife and my son went, my wife got COVID and I didn't get COVID.
Yeah,
and
you're like immune somehow.
Yeah, I don't know, because my wife's also, she actually got COVID from somebody at work last year.
Yeah,
and so she tested positive for COVID, and again, I didn't get it. So
you got the immunity, man.
Maybe I'm like a patient zero kind of thing. Where I go,
well, we didn't know I had COVID. We didn't know I had COVID when I was there, but I was very warm all the time. But I just assumed that was from being in Florida.
Yeah, and to be fair, like we were running around a lot.
We did.
We were there.
Yeah, we were.
Like we didn't stop hardly at all. So I mean, that's
we went open to close when we were there. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that, considering how close you and I were in proximity, that I didn't even get COVID during that.
We were on many a ride together. We were squished into a Big Thunder car together. I mean, we were on the Skyliner together. It's surprising you didn't get it. So anyway, let's talk about some DVC news. Let's do that.
Yes.
All right. So the Disneyland Member Lounge has added a model room, which is interesting to me that they have enough space at the Member Lounge to just throw in a whole, model room. It's a deluxe, obviously, but still.
So this is something to understand about where the Member Lounge sits in Disneyland. So this space is about the same size as Carousel of Progress.
So it's a big space.
Yeah, because
it's much bigger than the one in Epcot.
Yeah, because because they put it into Tomorrowland, and that building. So it used to be called America Sings was the name of the show.
Yeah.
Because that's where it was, where all the animatronics that were originally in Splash Mountain came from.
Yep.
But yeah, so it was a big building, and over time it's been repurposed and cut up into different sections. So even the Member Lounge is not. It's not that big, like
not the full space.
Yeah, they're not utilizing the full space, which means, of course, they, I think it's good that they're, they realize that, hey, this is actually a good place to sell DVC in the Member Lounge, because I guess the intent is that they know that people that are coming to the Member Lounge, you bring other people with you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
People always bring guests in with them. And this is a good way to show off, like, hey, if you bought into DVC, this is what a deluxe studio looks like, which is the majority of the room offerings, or across, or it's the most common room offering across all of the resorts.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way for them to show off what DVC is, and just give people who don't already know about it a way to see what it looks like. Although I guess my only question is can you book this preview room as like a nap room? Because
yeah, right. I just gonna fall asleep on the couch in there.
Yeah, right. I feel like if if I could block even 20 minutes, I could just go lay on the bed for 20 minutes.
Will I get banned from Disneyland if I pull down the Murphy bed and take a nap? Like what would happen to me if I did?
Will they ask me to leave the lounge?
Yeah, maybe they don't. You know what though? They usually have. I feel like in the model rooms, they usually have a DVC person standing there to answer questions. So you probably couldn't get away with it. Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, okay. So here's the tactic: is you get the person you're traveling with to distract the DVC person.
Yeah,
and buy you 20 minutes, and then you swap out, and
that's the way to do it. Yeah. That's the way to do it. But you're totally right though. I didn't even really think about that, because I know that every time we've taken guests with us into the lounge or into the top of the world or wherever, they're just like, it's pretty cool. Like, what's this DVC thing all about? And of course they have all the brochures, and they have the people there that are just walking around to answer questions, and you can just talk to them. And so, yeah, I mean, it's smart to have that there. It would be interesting I'm interested that they put it there, but it like you said, it makes sense, and it will also help the DVC members in California. Maybe do some add-on points for the tower, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it too. Is it's a means of selling the tower, but like I said again, it's I feel like actually I wouldn't be surprised if they do this in some capacity in Disney World. Although I will say the flip side of that though is the difference in Disney World is that there are you can go to the different DVC kiosks around the resorts and whatnot, and they can take you up and show you the rooms for
that's true.
Resorts. So I guess the difference is like in California, like you're right, there is the hotel there, but I feel it's a little different in California because you're not going to go walking all the way over to the Disneyland hotel to go and check out a room there, or because if you're talking to somebody at the lounge and they're like, oh yeah, you can go see one of our rooms.
Yeah,
it's a pretty you're either getting on the monorail and going to the hotel, or it's a far walk to get over there. So having the demo room in the lounge, I think, is a good way for them to kind of. And I also have to wonder too if maybe there will be some opportunity that at the DVC kiosks that even if you're not a member, that they take people up there to do tours of it that are in the park. Again, just another means of selling DVC to people in the parks that, you don't have to wait for them to go to a hotel to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, because, in Disney World, like you said, if you're at the hotel, you can do it. But, when I checked it out, and I'm sure you did the same thing, you did the thing where you go up to the kiosk and then they get you the van to take you to the center. And then they give you the pitch there. You have an ice cream sundae, and they throw some free pass. I think I got free fast passes and a Disney gift card at the time. Like, they were giving away a lot of stuff to do that presentation. It was
and again, because they have the whole center there, it is definitely a different vibe than what they're doing in Disneyland. Like I get why, even though it's not as far, like you're right, getting in the van and everything takes time. I feel like if I was in Disneyland and they're like, oh yeah, go over to the hotel and check out a room, like in my head I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Well, but that little van will also take you wherever you want to, I think, if I remember correctly, afterwards. So where do you want to go? And they'll take you there. It's definitely a nice little piece of pampering just for sitting in the presentation, which I've said this before, very low pressure. Honestly, they did not pressure us at all. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like everybody should do it just to get the freebies, and then if you don't buy, you don't buy. But yeah. Anyway. So yeah, anything else on that?
No, I'll wait to see when people post about it on social media, because I'm sure somebody will cover it.
I'm sure somebody will. Yeah. So we also have a returning event for DVC members this year for the Valentine's Day Meet and Treat. 3 days in February, DVC members can pose with characters and collect a free treat on Valentine's Day. The funny thing is that it's not on Valentine's Day. It's on the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. So,
of course.
Yeah, and it's at the Atlantic Dance Hall on the boardwalk. And it's between 11 and 1 p.m. You don't need to make reservations. You can just show up, which is cool. But I love when DVC does like these little free events like this. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And yeah, to your point, I guess, they're doing it around Valentine's Day. And I guess the assumption is people wouldn't go out of their way on Valentine's Day to come and do something like this. But
that's a fair assumption.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, or at least in my household, if I planned to go to a Disney character meet with my wife for a Valentine's Day thing, I think that would be well received. But I guess I can see where it's not for everybody. Yeah.
No. I mean, you point well taken. I mean, I think my wife, we do something special, but it's not like, if we had an opportunity to go to a free event, my wife would probably be like, yeah, let's do that. Like, that sounds like fun. But yeah, so this is if you're listening to us right now, this is taking place right now. So if you're there,
yes.
Go. Yeah.
It started today as of the day of the release of this podcast.
That's exactly right. If you're listening to us on the day we release, like you should, no, I'm just kidding. You can listen whenever you want.
And if you listen to us after the 5th, well, you've missed out.
You missed it. Then it's your fault.
And that's your fault for not listening to us the day of.
Yeah. By the way, this is
no, we're not. No,
people know we're kidding.
No
right?
pressure.
People know
no
we're
pressure.
kidding. Yeah, people know we're kidding. But it is worth noting that this is a Blue Card benefit, and you must be staying at a Walt Disney World resort, and you can bring up to 4 guests if you want. So there you go.
I could be at a Disney resort by tomorrow.
I mean, you get to spend $1,000 to get free stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I could swing this.
You can make it happen. Yeah.
For free candy and a character.
Yeah, exactly. Something that's going to take you 5 minutes. I miss when they used to do one where they give out like a Christmas tree ornament, and I don't know. I don't feel like they've done that in the past couple of years. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, but I think that's because, we have ornaments from like from the Christmas party and stuff. I feel like, or I guess the problem is because it's a DVC thing, they have to budget for that. And maybe DVC decided that there's enough other ways to get ornaments and stuff at Disney. I don't know. I guess my feeling is that that doesn't feel quite as impactful. Like handing out an ornament doesn't feel as impactful as some of the experiences that they do. And I know again, also it's a budget thing, right? If they got to make 10,000 ornaments, like however much money that costs, it cuts into the budget for doing other things like Moonlight Magic. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So anything else on that? Or should we move to this next one?
I think we I think we're past the DVC news and we're into actual Disney news. And I knew this was going to be the big thing that we talk about this week. So.
Oh, you think so? This is going to be the big one?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because there's a lot of implications to this. So the headline is the Galactic. Let's try that again from the beginning.
Try it one more time.
The Galactic Starcruiser is being turned into Walt Disney Imagineering offices. So what they're planning to do is that there's this big building, which was the Starcruiser Hotel. They're moving. There was a lot of offices that were around Hollywood Studios. So like back behind the animation courtyard and whatnot. They had people actively working there. And we talked about this previously that, because of all the, we were wondering about where Monsters Inc. was going and, them doing expansions to Hollywood Studios, what it meant for these offices. And this seems to be the answer, is that they realize that they have a building that, they built relatively recently and it's not utilized. And the hard part about the Starcruiser building is that it's not attached to anything. So it's very hard to say, well, we can make it part of this park or whatever. So turning it into an office building, honestly, is the smartest thing because they can reshape the space into, however many offices they need. And it's a large enough space because of like, there was 150 rooms there.
Yeah, it's a fair amount of space. Yeah.
And then also the common areas. So, there's a lot of space there that, it's just a standalone office building. But then the nice thing about it is that frees up Hollywood studios that, previously, if you look at the overhead of Hollywood studios, there was a bunch of buildings around, like encompassing the backside of Hollywood studios that, you could never expand the park further because, people were working there. And that used to be like the costuming department,
the animation building.
Yeah. Like all those things you would see, like if you did like the behind the scenes tours and stuff like that. Right. So
backlot. Yeah.
Backlot tour. Thank you. That's what.
How dare you? No,
I'm sorry. Well, it's been a minute. I haven't ridden that ride in 20 years. Like
this is interesting because if you remember correctly, during the pandemic, they had plans to build a whole new Imagineering campus in Orlando. Well, outside of Orlando, and they canceled that. They ended up canceling that whole project. But they still need a lot of Imagineers around Disney World because there's a ton of stuff that's going to be happening, right? I mean, like there's just to name a few, there's the Cars land, there's the Villains land, there's the Monsters Inc. land, there's, just a couple of those things that are happening. Oh, all the stuff happening in Animal Kingdom. Like they need the Imagineers to be there and they need office space for that. So instead of throwing them in some trailers on the side of the project, they have this, like you said, really nice building that's sitting there that they can adapt to be offices. Now, I do wonder, are they just going to turn one of the guest rooms into like throw a desk in there and boom, it's an office? Like, or are they going to do some like serious work and rip everything out? I don't know, but I mean, it's also be interesting showing up to work, walking through the Galactic Starcruiser stuff,
The weird thing is you're right, is that there's all the plumbing and bathrooms and everything from the hotel rooms, which like, I guess the thing is they can absolutely gut all of that. Like if they really feel the need to, they can take it all back down to bare bones and redo it however they see fit. But yeah, it's kind of a funny idea that, every second office has its own shower and bathroom and everything, which I mean, that could be a good perk for people that are working there that, hey, free showers on site and
there's some bunk beds behind you could sleep in if you want to take a nap. If you're working long shifts, you just hop onto the bunk bed and take a break.
Yeah, the only thing though that might be a bit of a challenge is that, and we talked about this with the Starcruiser, is that there was no outside facing windows. So they had all the the starscape that you would look out into in the rooms, but there was no outside light coming in, which, if you're working in these places, day after day, week after week, like I can see where, they may rethink, getting sunlight into these rooms.
It's a valid point. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, I can see where, like, I know for me personally, like, living in a northern climate, I notice it a lot that, like right now, the sun rises at like 8 o'clock in the morning and sets at about 4:30, 5 o'clock when it sets. Which, if you're working a full day, it's literally, as you're leaving for work, you barely see the sunrise, and then as you're getting home, the sun's setting, which means you don't get a lot of sunlight, especially, depending on where you're working, not seeing daylight for days on end can have an impact on you. So I feel like, to your point about, would they just leave the rooms the way they are? I think there's an opportunity for them to do some renos and make it this feels like something that, not just for the projects that they're working on right now, but as a long-term, like, hey, this could become the Imagineer space, or, a space for, administrative stuff at Disney, which keeps it away from, it's always nice having stuff like backing onto the parks, but it's close enough, but also far enough away from everything that it doesn't interfere with, expansions, changes to the parks, all that kind of stuff. And I think it benefits us in the long run because, like I said, I'm really curious now about, we've already seen stuff that they're doing at Hollywood Studios, but they've got a lot more space to play with there. and they haven't shown their full hand of everything that they could do at Hollywood Studios.
Well, and all the other parks though too. I mean, this is going to serve as a base of operations for all the work they're doing, because they're doing something for every park except for, well, they're currently doing stuff for Epcot, but like, every park has an expansion happening at this point, except for Epcot, really. So, I mean,
Epcot is. Would you say Epcot's
test track
done? Oh yeah, well, okay, but that's one attraction.
3.0, yeah,
yeah. I guess I'm thinking in terms of like full land expansions, because like Monsters Inc. is like a land, Cars is a land, the South Americas is a land, but Epcot doesn't have anything like that going on at the moment
that we know about, right? Like, I think that's the thing. Like, Disney has shown time and time again that yes, they will announce big things at D23, but they'll also just announce big things on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be D23 for them to announce a huge project, right? And they do a lot of those at D23, but listen, there's probably other stuff that they're planning on doing that they have not announced yet, right? For one reason or another, Disney likes to space out these announcements. They've actually said that in earnings calls, that they purposely will space out announcements, because they like to be able to control that media cycle for those announcements. So they do these things very strategically. So there could be, this actually tells me that there's a lot more to come that we don't know about, right? If they need that much space for Imagineers, like, there's a lot of work already happening, but to me, this is just, and I mean, they were going to do this already, right? So like, this is not, they were going to move the whole of Imagineering to the Orlando area, right?
Yeah.
And to the point where they lost some people because they didn't want to relocate to Florida, right? But kind of sounds like they're not making them do that with this. This is more of they're using this as a base of operations for all the things they're doing. I think that the funny thing to me though about this is just like I'm imagining showing up to work every day and walking through the ship,
the Starcruiser.
Yeah, like, I mean, are they going to tear down all that thematic stuff that they put in? I mean, now, given if you've ever seen like video of Imagineering, they do have a lot of cool, fun stuff around the Imagineering office, but not like the Starcruiser, But thinking about it though too, Trevor, it makes total sense because the hotel had a lot of the amenities that you need for offices, right? It has a whole dining hall, so they can have, and a kitchen
whole
and everything.
Cafeteria. And, yeah, you're right. It's
right there. They got bathrooms. They have a gym. Like, they have all these things that are things that people want in an office building, and it's already there, right? And like you said, all the bathrooms and everything. So, I mean, to your point, they probably do need to do something about the lack of natural light coming in. I don't know what you do about that other than breaking some walls down, or maybe just changing the screens to show like an outside view or something. I don't know.
I mean, believe it or not, in my head, the easiest way to do it is you don't actually have to take any walls down. You can get fiber optic lighting that so it's literally punching holes in the roof that will feed daylight down into these different areas.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
So that would be how I would solve it, and that would be a pretty like simple way to do it. But again, you just got to spend money on the fiber optic lighting. But yeah.
I'm just thinking of what they do on the cruise ships on those porthole rooms that they have, where it's a fake. It's just a screen that looks like a porthole, and it shows you like a live feed of what's going on outside.
Yeah,
you could do that.
That could work too. Yeah,
you could do that.
Although live feed of outside is like, there's
a bird
gator walking by.
What are you going to show? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm actually really disappointed because if you remember correctly, my prediction from this was that they were going to do a dinner show there. And actually, this article actually says that they had heard rumors that is exactly what was going to happen. And this is from the Wrap, by the way. So by the way, Disney hasn't announced this or anything, so this is technically kind of rumor because it's not confirmed. But apparently, there was rumors that it was going to be used for several hours long dinner theater type experience that would use the hotel's lobby, bridge, bar, and restaurant, and that the gift shop would also remain open. But that's apparently not happening now, specifically because it's difficult to get guests there.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
That's the hardest thing about this, and this is where I was saying like it makes sense for it to just be an office space. Is that they can figure out parking, they can figure out shuttling employees around, and it's not at the same volume as guests, right? Like you said, the hard part about this building was that it was separated from everything, but it did need to be accessible to guests. And yeah, even a dinner show, like it doesn't matter what you do with it from a guest standpoint, it's like it becomes a thing of, I want to go see this dinner show. Well, you got to get on a bus and travel for, 30 minutes before you even get there. So, and I mean, to be fair, like everything in Disney World is like that. Like there's always travel time, but most things are like, you want to go see Hoop-de-Doo Review while you're going to Wilderness Lodge, which is like, it's still all interconnected, right? Like, whereas this felt very disconnected from the larger Disney World, I don't know Matrix, I guess.
So, universe. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the transportation matrix that makes up Disney World. This one building was actually the most disconnected thing, which I get. I get it was intentional, but I think that's also why it makes more sense as office buildings because, your employees don't, or cast members will get there however they get there, and they're not going to balk at, well, I had to get on a tram and go this way. Like they know what the deal is, right? It's like going to work, it's just part of your commute. It doesn't become a thing where it feels like when you're on vacation, extra travel time does take away from the experience, right? So
yeah. I think a dinner show could have worked there though too. I think they could have made it work, but interestingly, this article notes that according to one of their sources, they've been doing play tests in there, using the building to play test a potential dining experience in the theme park, but not in the Starcruiser itself. So I guess they've already been kind of using it for testing and stuff like that. So it kind of makes sense that they would make this into an office building as well. They can use it for testing, but then they can also use it for Imagineers. So
you see that actually brings up a good point too, is, office space or, Imagineering space, like you said, we imagine like, a cubicle farm, but realistically they do need space. Yeah. They need space to test things out. And this actually isn't a bad thing because it was set up like a hotel. It gives them the ability, like you said, they can emulate like, hey, how would this work, in a dining hall setting or in like a theme park, like, or in a hotel lobby, right? Like it does give them space to practice and do things instead of, I equate it to like, how in EPCOT you would see like weird characters from time to time.
Yeah.
And the reason for that was actually because, there was, cast members were training for, different types of character experiences.
Yeah.
The thing about that though, is that, it's still park facing and it's still like, it's different, right? Like you can't be more free in your testing than versus like, if this is like, all an employee space, they can really test stuff out first and, refine it before they go and try it in the parks. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that makes total sense. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. This was not on my bingo card for this building. Right. Like and then maybe I'm just like being cynical and I just always assume that Disney's going to do something that's going to make them the most money. But it makes sense when you really think about it. Like I said, it has all the features you would need for an office building and then some, and it's centrally located, right? Because, Hollywood Studios and EPCOT are like right in the middle of the parks, basically. Yep. Right. So you're centrally located. You're not far from really anything. Yeah. I mean, it makes total sense to me. But it is interesting that they've spent so much money on this building. This article says it cost $1 billion, although Disney has said many times that is much lower than that. So who knows? But yeah, at least they're getting use out of it,
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like I said, the thing about it is that I wouldn't be surprised if assuming that this is actually happening and that this isn't a rumor, but I guess the thing is I know we're just quoting it from the Wrap, but it feels usually if there was something this big going on, Disney would come out and quickly refute it because you've seen it everywhere, right? Like there's been a lot of places covering this information, and Disney's usually pretty quick to squash things if it's like grossly incorrect.
Yeah.
For stuff like this. So, I mean, I'm not saying, silence means affirmation from them, but, assuming that this is happening, I wouldn't be surprised if you start hearing stuff about, like you said, another expansion in Hollywood studios, which, is actually kind of crazy if you think about it. Or actually, it's kind of a repeat of what happened with Toy Story Land and
Galaxy's Edge. Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge, yeah. That because they were effectively building both of those lands pretty much side by side at one point.
Yeah.
Even though Toy Story Land opened first.
Far less complicated than Galaxy's Edge, right? So
yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something about the animation courtyard coming up soon. Once they have those office spaces cleared out, that they start saying, oh yeah, this is the next thing that's going on. And then the other cool thing about that too is that, when you initially hear about, oh, they're going to do an expansion, it's like you expect kind of like, how Walcott became a thing.
Walcott,
that, you kind of assume that like right away there's going to be walls put up all around Animation Courtyard. But if they're actually starting behind Animation Courtyard, they can demo all of that area, and like they can start building something without disrupting the larger Hollywood studios. Yeah. It does give them some breathing space to do stuff like that's already behind the scenes without anybody noticing what's going on. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Why don't we go ahead and do our ad? I don't know if we have anything else on this, right? Unless you do.
No, we'll leave it for another time, but I want to speculate on what else they could add, or what else I think they should add to Hollywood studios.
Oh, okay. That's a wait list right there.
Yeah, I think we should talk about that in the future. And I'll put it out to our listeners too. If you guys got thoughts on this stuff, we love hearing it. People, we get all kinds of, interesting takes on this stuff in our Discord, which I love it. I love that we've got places to talk about this stuff. But
I agree.
Yeah. So DVC Rental Store is a World of DVC company that offers magical vacations at incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% at the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. And as always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com/welcome home or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 382-7368. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
All right.
We need to make a song for cruise line stuff.
Cruise line? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'll have to think about that a little bit more. I still need to make one for Reckless Speculation. That's the next one. So
yeah, but I feel like okay. I'm not going to take the same stance as Damon that he wants nothing to do with food time. But the cruise stuff is like, I will admit it is the least interesting stuff to me, only because of the fact that I know that I'm not getting on a cruise.
Yeah, I get it.
Like I don't think ever, because my wife will not get on a cruise because of health issues, like, and understandably, and I'm also past the point where like Disney cruises don't make sense for me because I'm not going to take my almost 17-year-old on a cruise when he's never done it before, and like the Disney cruises are different, right? Like they don't offer, or it's
they
not
do have some teen stuff. They have some teen stuff, yeah.
But I feel like it would not be the best use of my time or my money. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So I don't know if we could figure out some, like, I want to say like something like almost in the vein of like the SpongeBob SquarePants song, but I don't know. Just throwing it out.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. I'm now my wheels are turning. Now my wheels are turning.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Just like a nice sea shanty about, the cruise line, cruising, but also that, Trevor will never be on a cruise. So
I'm not going to do my impression of that opening. I would do it if I wasn't sick right now. I would do the voice of the SpongeBob, because so I've talked about this before. I think I used to be a birthday party host when I was in high school.
Yeah,
and every once in a while, a kid would ask to do the SpongeBob theme song instead of Happy Birthday, and I would do the voice and do the whole song and all that. can't do it right now. My voice is not there, but I could definitely do it for a song. I mean, I'm just saying. I've got ideas. Okay. Anyway, so I didn't even know this was a thing because we talked about this too. It's a blind spot for me in DCL. And by the way, in a couple weeks, we're going to have our friend Brian from DCL Duo on to tell me everything I need to know about Disney cruises. So we're gonna do that. That should be fun.
Perfect.
Yeah, I actually think we might do that. We might do a live show for that one just so we can get live questions because I think that might be fun. Cool. Yeah. So we'll get back to you on that one. But anyway. So there's this thing called Dine and Play, which is a package that's offered to guests that have the later seating slot, which is like 8 something, right? So we actually initially got the later dining slot, and it's like I said, I think it's 8:30 or something like that, sometime after 8 o'clock. My daughter eats at 5 o'clock, right? So I was like, when we got
at 5 o'clock, I don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we tried to get the earlier seating, which we did. So we'll have our seating will be 5. I think it was 5:45 or something like that. But anyway, so this is only available to the people that have the later one. But basically, it's only available for the second dinner sitting, and basically, it allows the adults to go and eat dinner in peace while you drop your child off at the Oceaneer Club and let them do their thing there. Which is a great idea if you're your kid's gonna be up till 10 o'clock at night, I guess.
Which, I mean, if you're on vacation, I feel that's
my 7-year-old's not making it until 10 o'clock. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah. Like I remember when my son was younger, we were trying to make him stay up to watch the fireworks, and he was passing out yes, at 8 o'clock at night. So
when I told you guys before, I tried to get my daughter to watch Happily Ever After, and she watched it and then immediately passed out. So it's hard to keep them up that late. So I mean, this is probably good for kids that are a little bit older. Maybe some of you out there that have kids that go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, which I do not. My daughter goes to bed at 7 o'clock every night. Yeah, not yet, right? But it's a cool idea. I mean, it's a nice way for the adults to kind of get a chance to relax for a few,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It makes sense because it's the best of both worlds. It gives the kids something. It sounds like this Oceaneer Club. It's
for
very
kids 3 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very interactive. It gives the kids somewhere to, have fun. Burn off all of their energy, and like you said, and then it gives the parents a break. Or and I feel like on a cruise, it's got to be especially hard because I think a lot of people when you travel, there was I went on a trip once with my parents. And they said to us, hey, we're going to watch your son and, you guys go off and do whatever. And, they gave us a break because, as parents, you don't always get a chance to, go and have just, dinner together or some quiet time together when your kids are around. So this is a nice way to offer that on a cruise ship where otherwise I feel cruise ships can be very restrictive in that, there's never an option to say well, I'm going to go to the other side of the cruise ship and you stay over here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what the Oceaneer Club basically is. You drop your kid off and you go do other stuff. Right. But yeah, this is for dinner time. So
yeah. And yeah, so it's a structured thing. It gives a place to know that your kids are being entertained and that you can go and have a quiet dinner, be entertained yourself. And yeah, I think it's a great thing. It sounds like a good way to, keep everybody happy on a cruise.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got for that. Let's go to Garden Rocks. We talked about Garden Rocks last week. Now we have the full concert lineup. I think we should. I think we should rename Garden Rocks to One Hit Wonders and Has-Beens because that's pretty much what it is. I mean, right?
There's got to be a better,
a nicer way to say it, I guess.
Yeah. Something playing off of because Garden Rocks, it's Flower and Garden Festival, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll have to think about this one for a minute.
Think about it. Yeah. But we talked about the ones before. Now we've got Sugar Ray, which I forgot about the orchestra starring ELO and ELO Part 2 former members. That's a mouthful. Sugar Ray, which I believe, is it? No, Smash Mouth has a different lead singer now, right? Sugar Ray is still together, everybody, right?
Yeah. I like Sugar Ray. They were.
They're not bad.
I listened to them a lot. And
they feel very Disney esque, you know?
Yeah. Simple Plan's on there as well, which again is another unfortunately we are hitting that demographic where, you know, all the stuff that I listened to as an angry teen has now become background music in the theme park.
Yeah.
So,
or I think it's Dan that comments on this all the time that when he's walking around the supermarket, he hears the songs of his youth playing in the supermarket.
Yeah.
It's just supermarket music now, you know? Just what plays in the background while you're picking up your food, you know?
And you used to think it was so edgy and now
it's just background music. Yeah.
And now it's Garden Rock's performances.
Yeah, Garden Rock's performances, yeah.
All right, so the other ones going on. So a couple of these I've never heard of before. Jody Messina is
Messina. Yeah, I know who that is. I couldn't name a song, but I know the name. But yeah.
And this next one, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this one.
Mike Del Guidis? I don't know.
Guidis? Yeah, I don't know.
Italian last name. There you go. I don't know who that person is though. I've never heard that name before, so I'm sure someone will tell us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait. He's known as the rhythm guitarist and the vocalist of Billy Joel's band. Okay. So he's related to Billy Joel. So you'd think they'd put of Billy Joel fame, right?
No, because maybe like that's. I can get why they wouldn't want to do that because then it assumes that like there's going to be some like he's going to be playing Billy Joel music, but even playing like covers of Billy Joel music. Like I don't think that they want to set that expectation.
I mean, he did used to see. Here's the thing: it might be a Billy Joel tribute band because looking at his Wikipedia, that's what he did before he joined Billy Joel's band. He was a Billy Joel tribute band. So maybe that's what he does. I don't know. Maybe he does Billy Joel. Who knows? I'm not going to claim that because I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man, Flock of Seagulls.
Okay. Oof. So here's the thing about Flock of Seagulls. They are featured in Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
That is true. Yeah.
Because Iran is one of the songs, which I mean, of all of the ones on here, like this is the most relevant one to.
That's true.
To one of the rides in the park, which I feel like so Flock of Seagulls is happening April 20th and 21st. I feel like those days could be very busy.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that you don't just have people who liked them previously at, as, when they were, at the height of their fame, but also because they are a part of the parks now.
True. Yeah. They come every year though. I feel like they're a repeat,
they do,
right?
Yeah.
And there's Taylor Dane. I don't know who that is.
I know. Again, I know the name, and hold on.
I feel like the big one here is 98 Degrees, right? Like they're one of the biggest names on here. I know they're not big anymore, but still, they were huge at one time.
Okay, yeah. So Taylor Dane songs include "Love Will Lead You Back," "Tell It to My Heart."
Don't know.
These were okay. I think you're a little bit young for these because these were like late 80s. Yes, you are.
I have to listen to this. I mean, I might know.
You'll know them when you hear them. But so I realized you and I like.
Oh, I know "Tell It to My Heart." I know that one.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You're about the same age as my brother, which is this like you were kind of coming up like late 80s into the 90s. So a lot of these like 80s songs for you, they don't resonate as well because like when like I was listening to those as a kid, like they were on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. So Taylor Dane was like, I know that one.
I know Tell It to My I Tell It to My Heart. I know that one very, very much so. Yeah.
And like you said, so 98 Degrees is another one that I mean it'll be popular. I are they really
still popular? I don't know. Well, hey, while you're there, the Plain White Tees are going to be there. So you go see the Plain White Tees.
No, actually, Plain White Tees is before I'm there.
Oh, is it? So, okay, my bad.
Yeah. So so Plain White Tees, John Cicada.
Yeah.
And then the ones that will be there when I'm there are Maverick City Music.
No idea what that is.
And the Spinners.
Okay.
And I'm gonna miss the Pointer Sisters, man.
You would go see the Pointer Sisters, really?
Yeah, I would have seen the Pointer Sisters.
Okay. I don't know the rest of these other than the guy that was on the Eagles. It's not on the Eagles, part of the Eagles at some point. That's really it.
I feel like I've heard of We the Kingdom before. So okay. So the rest of these, if for anyone that's wondering, is There's some new ones, which are the Outlaws, the Cat Empire, and We the Kingdom, which, yeah, not totally sure.
Yeah, I have no idea what any of this is. I'd have to Google it, but my level of care on who these bands are is pretty low. So I'm. But anyway.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. We the Kingdom seems to be a Christian rock band.
I was gonna say that sounds like a Christian rock band. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's the lineup. If you want to go buy one of those dining packages, or you could just stand in the back of the front of the American Pavilion and listen for yourself. I'm trying to remember who was there, Trevor, when you and I were there, because there was I remember there was somebody performing on stage when we were at EPCOT, and I don't.
There was, and I don't. We'd have to go back and look. I mean, it was a long time ago, but
it was
again. It was exactly that. Is not to detract from any of these bands that they're all good bands. They've all had good careers, but when I'm in EPCOT, I'm not like making a beeline for the stage going, ooh, I can't wait for this concert. It's like, I've got so much other stuff to do in EPCOT that, yeah. Like it's hard to justify stopping and sitting down to listen to a band, even if it's for 20 minutes or whatever. Like, I mean, I'll listen, like you said, as we were walking around, like I would get some shaved ice from Japan and go and listen to one of these, but yeah, but I don't need to get seats.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I want to do some reckless speculation, speaking of EPCOT, because we haven't talked about this yet, but this is something that's been going on for about a year now. And there's some sort of mysterious work that's been going on at the EPCOT Canada. Wow. Canada Pavilion. Canada. I almost said that. Yeah, I don't know why. But there's been weird construction going on there for a while now on the hotel that's in the back, right? Mm-hmm. And nobody really seems to know why. They haven't announced anything, and they've been actively doing work and doing permits and all this stuff. And they've been doing work at the back of the hotel too, oddly enough. But apparently, and I actually didn't know this, that there used to be a shop that was in there, and it sold jewelry and perfume and stuff and Christmas ornaments, but it closed 25 years ago. It closed a long time ago. And so some people are speculating they're going to reopen that or expand it. But the fact that they're building extra stuff in the back of it makes me think they're going to do something different, or maybe just have a bigger gift shop. But there was a permit that came out pretty recently to install signage there. So, and there's currently what looks like new doors that are going to be put in. So I don't know. I want to speculate. What is this going to be? I mean, it's not going to be a ride, obviously, but could it be a new restaurant? I mean,
why couldn't it be a ride? Do you think Canada is not sufficient to have its own ride?
What would this is a wait list, but what would your ride be for the Canada Pavilion? What would you want it to be?
What would our ride be? Oh, it would
maple syrup water slide.
No, I mean, something kind of like that, but a
log flume, kind of thing.
Flume, or going down the side of a mountain.
Okay,
a mountain coaster type.
Yeah, mountain coaster. Yeah, okay, I can see that. All right, interesting.
We do have those. I mean, that. I feel like that would be an easy one because they're everywhere.
I'm not saying that Canada doesn't deserve a ride. I'm just saying the space is not large enough for a ride. Yeah. So, and also, there was some stuff that they put on the upper level of the hotel too. It's always weird to me when Disney's working on something for a year and no one knows why or for what purpose, or you know what I mean? It's just weird.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, considering that whole back area in Canada, like you said, there used to be a gift shop back there, but that whole facade is of, it's not actually a building, but it's I mean, maybe they need to fix some stuff structurally inside of it that,
could be, yeah,
because it is getting old for sure. But, and it's definitely not, it looks like, so we have hotels in Canada in some areas. The most notorious one where I live is the Banff Springs Hotel in Alberta. That if you go into these hotels, they're entirely made of stone. Everything is this very nice carved stone. and it was built like over 100 years ago, so it doesn't move, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about, and that's what this facade looks like, is it looks like one of those hotels. But obviously, as we know, they're not building these out of stone, which means I have to wonder if the inside is maybe, starting to see some wear. They need to reinforce it so that it doesn't fall apart, because if it just sits there long enough, I'm sure the structure will eventually start to break down.
That's not a fun rumor, though. They're just trying to.
But
fix
I'm just being realistic that maybe they need to fix the inside of it. But I mean, aside from that, like, so if they were going to actually make this into like a usable space, or a guest facing space, besides the gift shop, like could you almost do like it's not great for a viewing area either, like.
There's
like
rumors
or something.
There's been rumors for a while that it's going to be a quick serve restaurant.
Oh, really?
Which I actually think would be interesting, but at the same time, I'm like, there's way too many quick serve already at Epcot. Like every time I want to eat at Epcot, I have too many decisions of where I want to eat.
And then you end up defaulting to the ones that because you don't want to go and find a new quick serve.
It's like, where are we going to go? Oh, let's just go to Sunshine Seasons. They're good. They always have a good variety.
Or
let's go there.
Connections is easy, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. And it's just like, do we need more quick service? But I mean, if it's something cool and unique, then I guess so.
And I guess the thing is there is also Le Cellier right there, which, having two high-end restaurants side by side doesn't make sense, because they're competing with one another. But I mean,
it would make more sense to have a quick service and a sit down right by each other. Yeah.
And then, let's say they did do a quick service. What are they offering that is Canadian cuisine? Which, I mean,
poutine
and beaver tails, I guess.
Dedicated poutine to stand. So
I mean, we already have. Or you guys do have the beaver tails now, don't you?
Don't they call them something else though? We had this conversation one time before.
No, well, up here they are. Yeah, you have another name for them, but we have like beaver tails are a common thing around here. Like,
you should probably clarify that you're not talking about an actual tail of a beaver that you're eating.
No, it's a pastry. It's like a funnel cake type pastry that you can get all kinds of stuff on it. And I thought we'd had a conversation previously that they were offering beaver tails in Epcot.
They were.
Yeah,
they were. Yeah, there was a time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you might be right. Maybe they'll do something like that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what else I would want to see from a Canadian quick serve. The hard part is for me is like, even if they opened up this new quick serve, I don't think I'm stopping there. Like
because they're Canadian, right? I mean, like, why would you stop in the Canada Pavilion, right? Like, I mean, I to be fair though, I have been to Regal Eagle and it is delicious, and that's the American Pavilion. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that like of Canadian cuisine, it's like there's nothing that I'm like, oh, I need to get this. Like everything that I eat around here is not Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
I go for like Thai food, or I go for like we have so many options. Like that's the thing, is that Canadian food is, or one of the things is like you can find pretty much any type of food you want in Canada, because there's lots to offer. But I'm just trying to think of. Like I said, I don't know that I would stop there, because I've got better things to do than eat in the Canada Pavilion. Although I will say, when we were there on our last trip, we did stop by the popcorn stand and we tried the maple popcorn, which it was a little burnt.
Oh
yeah. So when I got home, I actually made maple popcorn in a kettle, and it was way better than what I had in the Epcot Pavilion. So yeah, it's kind of hard to justify as a Canadian going to the Canada Pavilion.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. All right.
Yeah, let's. You got me curious now. I'll have to keep an eye on this, because as long as they do something okay with it. If they, I mean, I guess what would be the worst case scenario? I don't even know what the worst case scenario would be for them.
It's nothing. I mean, but that's not even like a bad scenario. It's just like, okay, we just had what we had before.
Actually, I know what the worst case scenario is.
What?
So one of the common tourist traps around here is that there's places that sell polished rocks, which
okay.
Because so like in the mountains, because of the fact that there's like, excavation and stuff going on, you'll find like there'll be like geodes and different types of minerals and stuff. So there'll be entire like if you go into some of the more touristy places like in Banff, there's entire shops that are just full of like rocks that have been polished that people buy as souvenirs because it's a particular mineral that was found in the mountains or whatever. If they opened up a shop selling rocks in the EPCOT pavilion, I would be highly disappointed. So I think that's the worst case scenario, is if they sold rocks.
They sold rocks. I get it.
Even if they're fancy, but it's still not. Yeah, it's not okay.
Right. You ready, Trevor?
Oh no! What are we doing?
What time is it? Food time. What time is it? Food time. Damon's not here, so our mission is clear. It's food time. Food time. Team food is ready unless it has dairy, because it's food time. Food time. With Tom and Trevor, this will take forever, because it's food time. Food time. Food and wine. We have the time, because it's food time. Food time.
I got in trouble last week for not playing. I got some beat.
I will say this, is that the one thing I actually like about, or not the one thing, there's multiple things I like about the song, but one of the good things about the song is it actually gives me a chance to go through the lineup and like refresh my, because I do read the stuff ahead of time, but I always forget about what I read, because I'm usually behind the scenes talk for a second is like, Tom usually sends out the rundowns like a day or two ahead of time, and usually like I didn't do this last night, but usually I'll be lying in bed as I'm getting ready to sleep, and I'll actually go through, like I'll just flip through the rundown just to kind of get used to it, or get used to what the topics we're going to be talking about. But I didn't do that last night, and
because Tom fell asleep and forgot to do it.
But that's not your fault. That's
I'm sick. Yeah, but it's
so this way, I the food time song gives me at least a couple of minutes or like a minute to go through it all.
To go through everything. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Well, you have good background music. So
exactly.
We're going to, this is Valentine's Day stuff. So some of this stuff is going to be limited to February 14th, but some of it will be available this week as we're talking till February 14th. So we have Amarettes, which always has cool stuff. And the first one is the Carl and Ellie Petite Cake, which is a vanilla chiffon soaked with Chambord, I guess, right? Simple syrup. Yeah. White chocolate mousse, raspberry jam, and white chocolate crispy pearls. And as usual, it looks very cool.
It does. They did the little graphic thing on the side, which has got Carl and Ellie on it, which is, I'll give Amarettes a pass on it, just because, like you said, they do generally like.
And there's other decorations on there.
It speaks for itself, and they've got like the little adventure book thing on there. Like I guess it's not just like a single thing. Like you can see that even though it's like a cutout thing, there's been some detail put into it. Like there's some effort there for sure. It doesn't just look like a copy paste of like a Mickey head or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm not going to even try this.
This next one, I love saying this. It's so we have a mini Valentine's croque-mouche.
Okay, that's a fun word. Yeah.
Croque-mouche is fun to say, but so it's basically a stack of little pastries, which so it's like little what do you call them? Oh gosh, cream puffs. Yeah. So in this case, they're chocolate pâte à choux, chocolate hazelnut custard, and chocolate ganache. So
I would destroy this.
Oh yeah. Croque-mouche is delicious.
I would rip through this so quickly that my wife would be like, "Wait, I thought we were going to share this," and she would never know that it was even there in the first place.
And the little heart chocolate on the top, I love the detail on it. Like if you really look at it, it's got like this lace heart. Just it looks awesome.
And a piece of edible gold on the top, which I've never understood that, because I'm not going to I don't want to eat gold. I want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's fancy.
It is.
Yeah, it makes you want to put your pinky up as you're eating it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's a Painting the Roses Red Amaret's Rose, which is a chocolate biscuit with a dark chocolate mousse and raspberry sauce filling. I can't speak. This is cool looking. I don't feel like they needed the little graphic thing on the side here.
I think it works because it's painting the roses red, right?
I get it. Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. You turn me, I guess.
Yeah. It's very, if they didn't have it there, it's just a white and red rose, I guess is the
which
only
is
thing.
fine though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
But this is that tie back to Alice in Wonderland, which I feel like Alice in Wonderland doesn't get enough love in the
that's true.
In the food department sometimes. So I mean, I'm here for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Then we go over to the ganachery, which similarly has fantastic stuff.
Yes.
And we have a red velvet ganache pop, which is a ruby ganache layered with cream cheese ganache covered in 65% dark chocolate.
Oh yeah.
I'm
getting 2 of those.
Yeah. You're double fisting these
one in
pop.
each hand. Yeah.
Yeah. We alternate bites. Is that, yeah. And then we got a chocolate covered cherry ganache square, which is seemingly similar to the other thing, but it's a square and it's got a Amarena cherries. Is that the right way to say that? Amarena?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amarena, I guess. Yeah.
Vanilla bean and white chocolate covered in 65% dark chocolate again. Again, I'm all about that.
See, that's a pass for me because I don't want the cherries.
That's fair. I like cherries. So, and then we have Mickey chocolates, milk chocolate with caramel crispy pearls and dark chocolate with strawberry crisp. I'm not going to lie. When I first went by this, I thought it was popcorn for a second. And
oh, yeah.
It doesn't really look like popcorn, but like if you go fast, it kind of does because it's served like popcorn and it's got like the outer edges like that. But again, another thing that I would just absolutely destroy is an entire container of those. So, yeah.
And then just to mention it, they also have the returning Sweetheart Mini Chocolate Piñata, which, they love these. You get the little hammer and you smash it and it's full of marshmallow treats and white chocolate crispy pearls.
I did it one time and it was a lot of fun smashing it with a mallet. So,
yeah.
Then we go down to Hollywood Studios over to Woody's Lunchbox. And, they love doing different,
They love their Pop-Tarts, but not Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, they're homemade Pop-Tarts. And this one is a chocolate-covered strawberry lunchbox tart. Chocolate pastry, strawberry jam, chocolate fondant, strawberry crisp, pink curls, and heart sprinkles. It looks delicious. And
it does. And I can't get over mixing like strawberry jam with my chocolate. And I know you're going to be like,
that
what
flavor? Yeah.
I had this conversation with my wife and my son the other day is that I don't like peanut butter and jelly. Like
oh man, what
I know I'm sorry, but I don't give me either peanut butter or jam, not both.
I will say every time I've gotten one of the tarts at Woody's Lunchbox, they've always been very good. So they are.
I'm sure they are. It's just, I don't want the strawberries in there.
That's fair.
I just want the chocolate. Give me the chocolate.
I get you. I'm with you. Yeah. Okay, scrolling all the way down here because we got a lot of repeat stuff. So
they seem to like repeating. I mean, I guess it's easy, but looking for new stuff. Actually, sorry, I do have to mention the I Lava You float in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah,
I've had it. It is so good.
Is it really good?
It is really good. Like if you can stop by Sunshine Tree Terrace and get one.
Okay, nice. This is Fanta strawberry and passion fruit flavor served with Dole Whip orange and topped with popping candy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So we're actually, there's nothing else new in Disney World. We're actually down at Disneyland.
Yeah.
At Bengal Barbecue, of all places.
Okay. Strawberry milk served in a chocolate cracking cup and topped with cold foam. Is that like when they coat the inside of the cup with chocolate and then you like crack it?
I guess.
Is that the deal?
I've never had chocolate cracking cup before.
I have not either. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing that's what it is.
I can't tell which, or I guess that's probably not.
I don't think it's pictured here actually.
Yeah, it's not pictured because they got the gray stuff and they got the strawberry shortcake sundaes. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like a trend right now is the chocolate cracking cup where you put like chocolate on the inside and then you like crush it when you get it and the chocolate all just like breaks into the drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's fun. And then we'll move down to Candy Palace and Candy Kitchen and Pooh Corner, all of that. So a Snickers caramel apple, Granny Smith apple dipped in caramel and decorated with milk chocolate and chopped Snickers bar pieces. Not the most creative dessert, but probably delicious.
Yeah. So, okay. I guess here's the thing is that, not everything needs to be like super fancy. Sometimes you just need to give me a Snickers bar with my caramel apple and I'm a happy camper. Like
it's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I get you. And then there's
I mean, if you want fancy, there's the Queen of Hearts caramel apple, which this thing it's a Granny Smith apple dipped in caramel, decorated with red colored white chocolate, marshmallow ears, a black colored dark chocolate dress, red M&Ms, and
just the red ones.
Yeah, and a shimmery gold crown with a heart in the middle.
What poor college kid has to sort through all of the M&Ms and just pull out the red ones?
You can just buy
individual
colors of M&M.
And I'm sure Disney, because they have a deal with that company, they can probably just get.
I was going to say, can't you go to Disney Springs and go? Isn't there an M&M's shop I think you can get? You can get just the color you want. So
I've never understood the whole color thing with the M&Ms. They all taste the same. Who cares what color?
They do, yeah. But I mean, sometimes you just want the red ones,
Yeah. And this
same thing with Skittles is I mean, Skittles all taste the same, but you get different colors.
It's like Fruit Loops too. Fruit Loops. Yeah. They all taste the same, the different colors, but your mind tricks you into thinking they're different. The last new thing on here you're going to hate too, because it's peanut butter and jelly, basically. Raspberry peanut butter square, peanut butter and white chocolate dipped in a raspberry flavored white chocolate and decorated with chopped peanuts and freeze dried raspberry crisps.
No,
I would eat it. I'm not a big raspberry fan, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks nice. Like I like how they put it next to the Snickers candy apple. Yeah, and it looks very nice. Like it looks like a red velvet something. Yeah. But just I don't want the chocolate and the fruit mixed together. Sorry.
Well, now we're going to move over to California Adventure, over to Hollywood Lounge for a Valentine champagne, just strawberry champagne served in a Valentine flute. So
that's so boring.
Really is. I'm more interested in the Lotso treat here. It's Mickey shaped cereal treat dipped in strawberry flavored pink colored white chocolate, decorated with magenta, black, and tan colored white chocolate. Although it's not pictured here.
Really, that's not I guess that's not that marshmallow looking thing on the side there.
Yeah, no, because I think the one to the left of that is a Minnie Mouse thing, right?
Yeah.
Although I don't really see it described here anywhere. But I don't know. I don't think it's that one. But that cookie looks pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
They're all the same there. Yeah, they're all the same.
They repeated the same ones that were over in Pooh Corner.
Yeah.
And then
we'll be adding new things. That might be it.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh no, wait. Sorry, that's the raspberry peanut butter square again.
Yeah, raspberry peanut butter square again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think
it's in downtown Disney. So hey, you don't have to go into the parks to get some of these, which is good.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, that's it. Yeah. That's it. We can wrap this up.
Yeah, not. I mean, I guess we say this every year. Is the Valentine's Day stuff is not. It's not super extensive because they only run it for really 2 weeks.
Yeah. And how much time are they really going to spend on something that's 2 weeks long?
Yeah, but again, if you're there and they happen to have these things, like I said, we were there last year in February, and I was able to get the I Love You float, which. These things are worth going out and looking for because they do put a lot of work into, giving you something interesting. Like it's not like if the float just tasted like another Dole Whip, I would have said, don't waste your money. But, they do give you something interesting with all of these. So, and that's why we like going through it on Food Time because, they do try to give us different and exciting things to try in the parks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap her up.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there anything else that we need to go over before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I'm sure I missed some sort of news, but no, I think we're good.
No, we'll get told about it. So I guess we'll start there. If there's anything that we did miss that you want to hear about on the show, or if you got your own trip reports or anything like that, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. we love hearing from you guys, and hearing what you think about the show and your own take on Disney stuff, because we all have our own take on Disney stuff. Similar to the email address, you can also find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. You can find us on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast. You can find us on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. Make sure on Facebook you check out our group Welcome Home Disney Wait List, where we have all kinds of great conversations and just talk about Disney. I want to shout out quickly to, I believe it's Ashley, and I'm going to double check this before I'm pretty sure it was Ashley. We got a great trip report where she was talking about all of her, she was in Disney in January, which, people don't generally like to talk about because it's, you don't realize how cold it is in January, but
yeah, true.
Really, really appreciate the report on your trip. And, of course I can't find it now because Facebook isn't loading for me.
That's what happens, right?
That's how this, when you need it, that's when it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ashley. Yeah. So Ashley in our group, gave us a great rundown of how her trip went. And, we love hearing stuff like that in the group. So, keep that kind of stuff coming because we love having a place to talk about this stuff. And like I said, if you're looking for a Facebook group that, is just full of cool people that want to talk about Disney, make sure you join our group. And if you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and you can check out our different merch there. We got shirts and mugs and all that great stuff. If you're needing some shirts for your next trip, make sure you grab something from the store. And also, if you bought something from us, snap a pic and send it to us on Facebook, because again, we love seeing that people are enjoying the merch and just enjoying the show. And, we love to hear what you think about it. Similarly, you can also support us through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check out our different levels of Patreon support, which offers an exclusive logo that you can only find on Patreon. And all of our Patreon supporters get access to the Discord server, which is yet another place that we talk about things on the show and off the show. Again, have great conversations about people's experience with Disney cruises and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, cruises are not for me, but that doesn't mean that, we can't have a place to talk about them anyway. So,
doesn't mean they're not for you.
Yeah. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for you. So
that's right.
You can always come and, talk cruise stuff. It just means that I won't know what you all are talking about. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or any of those other platforms, leave us a 5-star review. The 5 stars, makes the algorithm happy. It's like Fruit Loops for the algorithm. It
Fruit Loops.
It makes it healthy and happy, and makes it makes people see the podcast, because that's what we want. Is we just want more people to find the podcast. And leave us a review on iTunes if you want to let us know what you think about the show, because we love hearing what you guys think about the show as well. And I don't know, Tom, if we've had any new ones.
We have not.
We have not, yeah. Which
nobody's reviewed
is fair.
It's
this time of year, it's like that. We just don't get a lot of reviews because people are busy with other stuff, and that's fine. But like I said, if you got time, leave us a review, because we just want to know what you think about the show.
Yeah, and also, really important as well, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. So, just look for the one that says Welcome Home and DVC and Disney. That's the one, because there are other Welcome Homes out there, and obviously not as cool as we are. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions expressed on the show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to our sponsor, DVC Rental Store, as well as World of DVC, for continuing to support this show. They've been great partners over the years, so please check them out. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit its hair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.